Environmental Effects of Palm Oil by Marina Young. What is palm oil? It's an edible oil produced by the fruit and nut from the African oil palm tree, Elaeus guineensis, a tropical plant that thrives in heat and rain, and imported to Southeast Asia as a non-native crop about 100 years ago. This is widely produced in Malaysia and Indonesia. It produces more oil per hectare than any other oil. It is also solid at room temperature, making the oil versatile. Uses of palm oil. It is widely used in global industries and products such as food, like bread, ice cream, margarine, and nut butters. It also blends well with other oils and is a natural preservative which holds a long shelf life and source. It's also found in cosmetics like soap, lipstick, and shampoo and conditioner that we use every day. It's also found in about 50% of products that we find at stores. Palm oil plantations are found in Malaysia, which employs about 500,000 citizens. They are reluctant to join sustainable palm oil organizations in fear of damaging their economy, which relies so much on palm oil. The same goes for Indonesia, which is a large source of their GDP income. The global demand, which has increased annual production, has quadrupled since 1995 to 2015. From 15.2 tons to 62.6 tons. Individually, we consume an average of 8 kilograms of palm oil every year, where more than 85% of global palm oil production comes from Indonesia and Malaysia. Here is a 2015 global palm oil production pie graph where it shows Indonesia has about 53.3% of the production, and Malaysia is right behind them with 32%. All the other countries are, looks like, less than. Economic impacts. Palm oil is so widely used and embedded in the global economy, this causes an increase of land rush and often pushes locals out of the market. The rise of conflict in communities where locals end up depending on plantations for income and reports of exploited workers. This has displaced communities and the lack of resources to survive. The IMF International Monetary Fund forces Malaysia and Indonesia to produce more palm oil. Here we have Indonesia exports, where it describes the years 2015 and 2016. The change in difference between the 2 years was a 38% increase of exports for the fats and oils, which in Indonesia was mostly palm oil. Environmental effects of palm oil involve burning and logging of primary forests, which this causes habitat degradation, and this disrupts the food chain population and increases competition. Increased competition impacts plant population regrowth and increases erosion. The risk of extinction classifies for orangutans, tigers, rhinos, and pygmy elephants by the burning and logging of these primary forests, and the decrease of biodiversity and ecosystem services needed to keep a balance to prevent desertification. Greenhouse gases and deforestation of trees reduces cellular respiration needed for oxygen-breathing organisms. The added peat soils are loaded with carbon and release millions in tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The increased carbon dioxide leads to greenhouse gases and high climate change rate. Palm oil plantations may cause soil degradation, and this is caused by draining forests to add peat soil, which stores more carbon than any other ecosystem on Earth. The fragile tropical soil will become unstable with less organic matter in the soil structure to produce crops in the future. And soil fertility isn't replenished because of reduction of primary forests and the biodiversity of organic matter to be recycled in the soil. And soil erosion devastates primary life from regrowing and risks of desertification. After learning the environmental effects of palm oil, you probably want to know what you can do to help. You can seek out soybean non-trans fat alternatives, and GMO altered seeds that produces a long shelf life just like palm oil does. You can demand action on your policymakers and global companies that contribute to the unsustainable palm oil. You can research products that are palm oil free or sustainable palm oil, like Jif peanut butter, I found out. You can look on the ethicalconsumer.org page and their palm oil free list. Also, see if the companies that you buy from are part of the Roundtable of Sustainable Palm Oil, RSPO. They're an organization of people that produces about 15 tons of sustainable palm oil annually and 19% of the global palm oil production. And they make sure to enforce fair labor for workers and protecting local people and their land, and also making sure that they don't clear primary forests and also protect endangered species. You must act now to start purchasing sustainable or palm oil free products in order to help reduce global impacts. The best way to do this is to research products you buy because the many names palm oil is disguised under. We can shop diligently and encourage others when possible. Awareness to help put an end to needless deforestation of the most largely produced oil on the planet, and by encouraging global industries to move to better sustainable palm oil will make the biggest impact and better chances in saving endangered species at risk.